Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to another 2D hack and slash lesson. This is a pay what you want course. In the description, you'll find a link to my newest pixel art tile set course and a coupon to that. It's a Udemy course. So if you want to support this course, go ahead and buy that one. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal now that I think of it. Anyways, let's get started. In this lesson, we're going to be basically trying to make our game look better. So we've got the basics of our interaction working, the fighting between the two characters, the skeleton and the knight, and we just want our game world to look a lot better. If we come into our room here, it just doesn't look that great. Some weird artifact stuff popping up here. My guess is somehow the feet of the characters are being drawn up above the sprite, so there's some looping going on there. That appears to be just in the room editor here, though I haven't seen that happen in game, so it shouldn't be an issue. But the very first thing we're going to do is kind of move these all down and give us some room up above the characters. Now if we run the game, we're going to have some issues because our camera doesn't follow our character. Now we're going to do a quick fix to this for now. We'll end up changing this later. But if you come into viewports and cameras, and then you come into viewport 0, there's an object following. We'll just select our skeleton for now. And if we run the game, you can see it should now follow our skeleton. However, it only follows it on a border here. So we want to change our horizontal border to be half of our width, which is going to be 160. Let's save. Oops, I ran it in debug mode. Okay, here we go. And now the view should follow our character a lot more closely. And this is a temporary fix because we want our camera to be a little bit more dynamic than this is. It's very kind of jumpy, but it's a good temporary fix. Now I'm going to run the original source game real quick from GameMaker Studio 1.4 and drag it over. Let's make sure this works. Okay, here we go. And I'm just looking at the distance from the ground. There's a lot more hits than on our enemies too, so we might end up changing that later. Oh, that's so loud. Holy cow. I don't know if you guys can hear me. So, yeah, based on this information, we might... let's just do this for now. So we'll get one of these walls and we'll drag it all the way across like that. And then we'll take this wall and put it maybe like here. Take this wall and put it maybe like here. So what is that? 4 here, 5 there. Let's try 4 and see, let's see how this looks. Basically, I'm just trying to give us a little bit more ground. And if we... What's going on here? What on earth? My character must be inside the ground here. He shouldn't be. But that's the only logical explanation for not being able to move anymore. Huh. Not the only logical, but the likely logical explanation is that we're actually inside the ground. However, if you click on something and then hold Control, it turns off snap, and you can put it. I'm using this to make sure. I don't know why it jumps weird like that. But I'm putting us 1 pixel above the ground to make 100% sure that we're not in the ground. Well, I guess that won't make sure, but yeah, there we go. So that was the problem. I held control to confirm that. Now, what's the solution to this problem? Well, in my opinion, the easiest solution is to change our skeleton and our knight mask. So the skeleton mask, maybe we just come in here and erase the very bottom pixel. It's interesting to me that it's not lining up correctly. That feels like it's a glitch with an issue with how this scaled. Maybe we don't scale it vertically. I just want to test this to see. So we put the wall in. And then we don't scale the wall vertically. We only scale it horizontally. Do we still get the same issue? Yeah, we do. Well, we can move the origin down 1. The other option is to crop this. Auto trim all frames. Oh, but it won't let you, I guess it won't let you choose a crop amount anymore either. That's unfortunate. We can resize the canvas, resize all frames. Yeah, we'll resize the canvas right here. Can make it 41 high and 16 wide. And then apply. That gives us a 1 pixel border around the entire image. I'm going to save and see if this fixes our issue. Yeah, it does. So that's what I'm going to be doing for both of them. So come into this one, edit image, resize all frames. Make sure you go to resize canvas, not to scale image, and then add 2 pixels, 20 and 41. And then make sure that it's centered right here in the center, not over or anything, centered. Apply, give you a 1 pixel border around it, and that fixes it. So we must have, because of where the origin was, it must have just been placing us a single pixel into the ground. Yeah, this looks good though. That's a good distance. So we don't need to worry about this. We can scale this now. Okay, so we've set that up pretty nicely now. And we don't have any of the other sprites we need. So let me get some of those. Documents. Where did I put it? In downloads. Let's see here. Grave resources. You guys should have them on your computer. I've got new resource things in here for new courses that I'm kind of working on. So there should be an environment one. We can copy these, drag them and drop them into sprites, and create a new group. Environment. Drag and drop these into that group. There we go. Let's do... Let's put our grass in. I think the grass can be a background. So let's add a new background here. So we'll add a new background layer. And we'll do F2 and we'll name this one, oops. Make sure you select this. F2, we'll name this grass background. Then we can select a sprite. Select our grass sprite. There we go. It's going to be clear up here at the top, which is not what we want. But we do want to tile it horizontally. That's exactly what we want. And then we want to set this Y offset. So these are all 32. So this is 128. 256 will get us close. So let's try a Y offset of 256. Oh, that's exactly. Nailed it. That's crazy. Perfect. So now we've got our grass. And we can come back to our instances layer. And this right here, wonder if we can make this not visible. Variables. Huh. Could set instance variables in here. But the easier solution, well, I don't know, those are already in a good spot. So how can we make this visible but these not visible? One solution is to just I've never used the new object variables before, so I'm curious. Variable definitions. Add. Visible. There's the built-in variable visible. Default, we'll set it to 1. Okay. So we're going to learn about, if you're in GameMaker Studio 1.4, you won't be able to do this. You'll have to set the creation code for the object and set it visible equal to 0. But in GameMaker Studio 2, we're going to try variable definitions. So we're setting our visible equal to 1. We can set this, can we make this a Boolean? Oh, nice. We can just check it. Okay, cool. So we set visible equal to either true or false. And default will have it to be true for our wall. And then we can come into our graveyard world and double click on this wall and we can say variables, I guess, edit. There we go. And uncheck true. Now let's see if that works. It does work. That's cool. Okay. So then, if you're in GameMaker Studio 1.4, you would choose your creation code. You can right click on an object and then select creation code, and you would just set visible equals false in the creation code. So that's how you do it in GameMaker Studio 1. But we don't need a creation code because we're doing this our own way. Although the other thing would be to move these to their own layer and then make them invisible. That would work too. But we learned about object variables, so let's use those a little bit. That's what I say. I wonder if they work. I wonder if they would work really well for like it seems like they would work well for like initializing stuff like health on our lifeform parent. Because then we could modify the object, the child objects. I don't know how inheritance works with those, but okay. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new layer. Okay, so in GameMaker Studio 1.4, you're gonna have to create new objects and assign these sprites, like the fence sprite and the S-grave strip, to those new objects, which we'll probably actually have to do with the S-grave strip anyways. But so you'll have to do that. But in GameMaker Studio 2, I'm going to show you guys, we can create a new asset layer. We'll drag this so that it's in front of the instances layer. And we'll just call this, yeah, assets is fine actually. There we go. And you can just drag sprites onto an asset layer. So we're going to grab our fence and looks like we might have to change our grid, our X to 16. But then we can just drop our fence right here. Like that. And then we can drop another fence right here. And you can't see it, which is a shame. But once those are no longer visible in the game, then the fence shows up right here. So we've contained our character inside of this game world. So now let's do some clouds. So we'll create another background layer. And we'll name this one Clouds Background. And we'll assign our clouds sprite like that. And we'll give it an offset of 32 maybe. We'll make it tile horizontally. And I don't know, is that even going to be visible in our game? We might need more of an offset. Yeah, you can't even see that. So let's do 64. No. 96. That's still not going to be visible, is it? 104, 112, 132. Holy cow. Let's do 128. We're going to be adding in other background stuff too, so there we go. And if I look at the original source on this one, let's check out the original source. I want to make sure our background color is the right color too. Okay, so the clouds in the background, well, first of all, our actual background color is a little bit lighter than this gray. So let's come into our background color right here, and we're just going to lighten this up just a bit. Maybe 2 levels. No, that's too much. Let's go 1 level darker. That's close enough. And then our sky, or our clouds, we're going to edit this image. Well, what can we do with our actual background, our clouds background layer right here? Our clouds should be behind our grass though. It wouldn't make sense. So our clouds layer, what can we do here? We really can't do anything with this. So let's come into here and we're going to edit the image. And then we're just going to click on a gray, and we're going to fill these clouds in with one of these grays. So I picked this one right here. It's kind of in the middle. And I don't remember if there's a way to when you're filling to get all of the clouds. So we'll just click on each one. Because we want the clouds in, but we don't want them to necessarily stand out a bunch. We want them to kind of fade into the background. That's why the sword is white. The clouds are kind of a darker gray. That's much better. It hides a lot of the stuff going on. Okay. Now, I'm going to end this lesson here because what we're going to want to do is set up a parallax background, which is going to be a little bit more complicated, but we're going to want to set up a parallax effect for, well, actually we want to do our, this right here. So let's do this first. So grave, and then we will do a new object, grave, and attach this to it, and we'll add a create event, and we'll say image number, or let's see, image index equals image number minus, no, I random image number, I think is what we want to do. Well, there's not a lot in here, but either way, so what this does is it sets our image index equal to a random image index. And then we want to set the speed, image speed equals 0. So we pick a random image index and set our speed to 0. So basically that just allows us to choose one of these right here as a grave, completely randomly. So if we come into our room and then we come to our instances layer, we can actually set this to be 16 as well, and then we can drag this over, drop it right there. There we go. So that's our fence, collider for our fence. And we can add some of these graves in here. And it feels like we need our vertical grid to be 16 as well. Well, that's unfortunate. So maybe we do, oh, I know why. It's because I have the, let's set this back to 32, 32. Well, no, let's leave it 16 on the X, 32 on the Y. Yeah, there we go. But what we actually need to do is come into our environment and set the grave to bottom left or bottom middle. We'll just do bottom left. Come back into our world here. Now that our origin is set correctly, we can easily drop a few of these into the room. Like this. And then on this side as well. There we go. This is the last thing we'll be doing in this lesson. We'll get to parallax next. And then when you come this way, we get random gravestones. Every time they play the game, they'll be randomly chosen again. I think that looks pretty good. So it still doesn't look as good as the finished version yet, but once we get our parallax stuff in, it's funny, control is attack. Once we get our parallax stuff in, it will look really good, and we'll be doing that in the next lesson. So thank you guys so much for watching this lesson. If you enjoyed it and learned something, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys later.